Hey, so I tried to get really clever, creative with this last video. Just ended up being way too long, so I kind of cut it out. But this video is going to be the status of my folding collections, the ones that I'm actually carrying that are kind of in my rotation. So with that, we'll jump right into it. Might be a little bit choppy, but again, I'm saving you all from watching 37 minutes of me just talking. So appreciate it. Bye. All right, next I want to go through the status of my folder collection, and certainly keep in mind, I mean, I have random folders kind of all over the house, like a couple Benchmades here and there, whatever. So, my last status of my collection video that I shot a few months ago, I still have most of those for sure. Like, I was looking a lot of like the older ones that I've had for years. I haven't sold any of those older knives as well as those fixed blades. So the trench knives that I have, obviously my grandfather's K-bar, like I still have all of those. So I just wanted to kind of like roughshod go through the folders that have kind of, I don't know, they've made the list, so to speak. So the first one's going to be the Konig Arius. So I got this in a trade. That's another thing that I wanted to talk about. Was so I ended up trading a McNees 3.5 in MagnaCut for this, and from what I've seen, I mean, like McNees, like they have been putting out a lot of knives, so I think I kind of got in at the right time for making this trade. But Konig Arius, certainly not married to it, but I do appreciate it, and I love that it is the carbon fiber and titanium, kind of split here. So I'll probably be holding on to this for a while. Maybe I'll list it for fun, but at a price that I'd be willing to get rid of it. But as of right now, I think this is a great one to have in my collection. It's one of those knives that are kind of at the upper echelon of folding knives, certainly made in the U.S., and so I'm going to hold on to that one. The next one is going to be a SpyderChef, which I'm still running the micarta with the titanium clip side on here. I still like, I mean, I was certainly very enthusiastic about this knife when I did the video of it, but still to this day, like, I love carrying this. This is going to be one that I hold on to for a long time. The next one is going to be a Benchmade Bugout, which I realize is kind of more of a controversial low-end knife, but I really do love the aluminum scales on this one, it being M390. When my dad actually came to visit a few weeks ago, he really liked this bug out, and so I was able to find him this exact one, so I picked it up for him. I love this knife all around. Like, I mean, I think in your collection you should have like a smaller knife, and in this one I really like it, like the looks of it, love the weight of it, so I'm gonna hold on to that one as well. The next one is going to be a Curtis F3. I've reviewed this one. Got a great deal on it. It's in MagnaCut. It's from 2022. I really do like this knife, although it is on like the smaller side for me. This is definitely my style, and it's one of those that I pictured my collection or rotation without this one. And although I don't carry it all the time, like, I mean, certainly if I had all these laid out on the table, this isn't the one that I would pick up. It still is a very impressive blade, and I appreciate what it can do. The next one is going to be the SBD Sharp by Design, Brian Dow, my dude. So this is going to be a mini Tempest drop point. Again, not thrilled about the PVD, but when I got in on the drop, this was all that was left. But titanium, carbon fiber. I love this blade. I did have two of them, but ended up trading for the Jaeger, which now I'm trading for a Microtech. So this is how these things go. Like, if you're in the knife buy sell trade game, you definitely get it. But love this knife. I'll always have one of these in my collection, I think, and this is the only front flipper that I have until that Arcona comes. So huge fan of these blades. If you have not had any like Sharp by Design knives, check them out. They're definitely a game changer. They're awesome. The next knife is going to be my Strider. So this is going to be, yeah. What can I say about this? So I've always been a huge fan of the Strider design, and this one being in SNG, but it's in PSF 27. I really do love this knife. I'm surprised I don't carry it more, but honestly, like, when you start reviewing knives and getting a bunch of them, you're kind of, you can only, or at least I only carry one knife at a time kind of thing. But I'm really looking forward to kind of things settling out and carrying this knife a lot more. I love the size of it. Not to say that an SMF is too big, but it's one of those like those staples in your collection, like a Strider S&G. Huge fan. The next knife, the Berg Iron Wolf, and as I posted a few videos back, I did end up selling. I'm not even gonna call it this one's little brother because that's a sad comparison, but the Iron Pup, got rid of that one. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I love this Berg Iron Wolf. Like, I really do think, unless one of the knives I get in the next 4 months kind of like blows my socks off, this will be my favorite knife that I've gotten all year. I think if I had to pick one knife like all around, this would definitely be it. I'm constantly impressed with it. I'm running it on skiff bearings. Love the flipper tab on it. Love the materials, the micarta and the titanium split here. Great weight, super big, wide blade. If you can get your hands on a Berg Iron Wolf, definitely do it. You'll be pleasantly surprised. All right, moving right along, the next knife, and I probably should have put it in with my Lone Wolf, so it probably shouldn't be in this video, but the Spartan Blades Acrobis. Did a review of this one, ended up picking it up just because they don't make it anymore. I really do like this knife, but realizing that it's dated, and I don't know how much I'm going to carry this one, but I really do like. I love the fact that it's USA made, that it's Spartan's first knife. I think that, or first folding blade, excuse me, before I get hammered. Yeah, like I really do like this knife. I think I'm gonna hold on to it. Got a great deal on it. They don't make it anymore. This is definitely a collector's piece for me. The next knife is going to be a Spyderco PM2. This one is going to be in CPM Crewwear, and it's all micarta. I really do like the PM2 as far as like what it stands for and just how utilitarian and no nonsense, just a great knife to have. I did have another one of these that I ended up selling just actually this last week, and I'm gonna get into my whole I have a little bit of an aside for buying and selling right now and the kinds of knives that I like to sell, but I think I will always like hold on to a PM2. I think they're a great knife, and anyone that has like a knife collection, I think most of the time it starts with something like this. So love my PM2. The next row, halfway done. Shirogorov F3 NS. I love this knife. I really do. I think like, so this is one of the ones like when I bought it, and I got a great deal on this under the guise of the fact that it was a user, and somebody definitely tried to sharpen it, so there's a little, like the tip is kind of a little bit messed up, I would say, but I'm going to send this back probably next month when they, when Recon 1 kind of takes the ride out to Russia. I'm going to send this one with it, because I really do love this knife, and I think I don't really need to try any other Shirogorov. Certainly, I've been offered, Quantum Gen 2s, things like that. This is the Shirogorov that I like, and I don't need to get any crazier than this. This kind of, it scratches the itch, so to speak, and I couldn't be happier with it. Love this knife for sure. The next one is going to be a Spyderco Shaman. So this one is going to be an M4, so CPM M4, micarta scales. I did have two Shamans before, but kind of got down to this one. I really love the M4 steel. I love the Shaman design altogether. That's definitely, as far as my YouTube channel is so old, like 3 months old. This one has stood the test of time, and like I do like it. I'm gonna hold on to it. I carry this quite often. One of my good friends, Paul, he ended up picking up one of these based on just kind of taking this one for a rip one day, and he uses it all the time. It's definitely one of his main carry knives. The one thing that I haven't totally been able to get over is the compression lock, and even though one of the comments, which again, good on you, when I first got this thing, I was like, oh, you gotta like reach over your thumb and the blade falls down, whatever. Like, realizing that you do, you actuate the compression lock with your pointer finger and it falls, I still just, I don't know, I'm not really that used to it even now, and I'm more comfortable with like what's on the SpideyChef, where it's more of like a frame lock. Like that's just what I like. I don't know. So you find out what you like by doing this type of thing, and you buy knives accordingly. The next one's going to be this Socom Bravo. So again, this one's made by Reich Knife. I did just review this one, so a Microtech and Reich collaboration. Very impressed with this one. It doesn't carry the best, and as I said in the video, it's definitely a collector's knife. But I think like, overall, I mean, this thing is such a work of art and such like a hard use kind of workhorse that I really do like it, and I think it has a permanent part in my collection. All right, the next knife in my collection is going to be the Strider SMF. I have honestly, out of all the knives that I'm showing you, I've had this one the longest. Got it about 6 years ago. It is an S30V, so you know she's kind of old. I don't know, like I picked it up. I think I got it on Arms List, like I said before, but I really do love this knife, and it's one of those that I don't think I'll ever get rid of. Like Striders for me, they're kind of always the pinnacle of knives, and I love the size of the SMF. Again, I have really big hands, so this one, you know, it carries really well for me. I still do carry this, so like I said, I'd like to kind of carry the SNG a little bit more, but this is definitely a staple of my collection, and one that I will definitely hold on to. The next knife, we covered it in the beginning, but the TRM Atom, I'm not doing so well flicking these open. I really do like this knife and how it kind of stacks up to the PM2, realizing that it's not the same thing. Again, I apologize. I think like when I called it like a Spidey killer, you know, whatever. Like, I mean, it's kind of clickbait. I'll admit it for sure. But I am really impressed with this knife and kind of what comes with it, what it has to offer. It is stupid lightweight, great steel. Love the action on it. Love the fit, feel, like how, you know, this super deep carry pocket clip. I think this is one that I'm gonna hold on to. Like I do enjoy this knife, and I think it has kind of a unique place in my collection for sure. The next one, we gotta look at this McNees PM 3.5 in MagnaCut. This one is running on skiff bearings, which I thought it kind of interesting. You know, Devin got that 3.5, and he's actually running his on bronze washers. And so similarly to kind of how you know, in 2022, it's like, oh man, like, you know, things that are running on bearings are the hotness right now, whatever. It's kind of, I equate it to like listening to vinyl, where it's like, you know, everyone in the early 2000s was like, oh, digital music, MP3s, whatever. And then you're like, oh man, have you heard Dark Side of the Moon on vinyl? And then people are like, oh man, it's so nostalgic. Like, so people are running these kind of on washers now, which I think is funny, just to kind of slow down the action a little bit. I really do, like, I like this one, although it still does have that very metallic sound to it, and certainly you can switch out the pocket clips. I know a lot of people have been having problems with, you know, wearing slacks with this and it kind of chewing up their pants. I have not had that problem yet, but you know, the McNees PM, it's a great knife. I mean, certainly a very thick spine on this, and a lot of people are also like regrinding them to you know, make the profile a little bit different. I like this one. I mean, maybe it speaks to the fact that I don't know that much about knives or anything like that, but I know what I like, and I like this one, and I'm gonna kind of keep it the way it is, but I'm definitely gonna be holding on to this McNees. Now we get into my Chris Reeves, which recently this has been not a newer obsession, but I've definitely gotten back into Chris Reeves. So I have this small Sebenzas in Damascus, and I ended up picking up just kind of on a deal. So let me just come out there flat out and say it. Like, Chris Reeves, love their knives. Like, their pocket clips are spongy AF. Like, you can't switch them out soon enough, and, you know, in an effort to not lose any of these knives, which I really do like. And also keep in mind, like, I keep the boxes for all of these. I have all the screws. I have the original pocket clip. If I want to switch it back, I can, you know, like that. But I did end up switching these out to Purvis Thai Mascus clips for no other reason than someone had posted that they had 3 of these, and I was like, hey, can we work out a deal for all 3 of these? We were able to come to a deal, so I went that route. As I've said, kind of, I forget which video I said it in, but this is actually going to be a user in Damascus, which I think is really cool. Not to say that I'm married to this knife. I definitely want to get a user large Sebenzas in Damascus, but I love the fact that this thing was used. You can see some of the lines on it. I don't feel bad about using it then. And in this knife, like, I don't know, like, all in all, like, you see this thing, like, sitting here, like, it looks really nice, and I don't know, I'm a huge fan of it. The next Chris Reeve, so again, huge fan of the knife art run, so split carbon fiber and the titanium clip side. Again, looking at a Purvis clip here, you're going to see a theme with all three of my Chris Reeves, but I really do love this Chris Reeve. I think this is my favorite one over, this one, the small Sebenza, as well as the large Inkosi that I have. This one's going to take the cake, and realizing that it doesn't have the dual thumb studs, maybe the ergonomics, some would argue, not as good, but all around, out of all the knives that I just showed you, this is the knife that I carry the most, and I'm so confident with it. I can do anything with this knife. I really can. So have that, and then the last knife I'm going to show you. So a large Inkosi. This is the Insingo, so it's going to have a sheep's foot design again. A little Purvis Timascus clip back there. I like what this knife has to offer. The fact that it's running the dual thumb studs gives you a few extra options. But like I said, I really do find myself like just thumb flicking that large Sebenza, and it's good to go. The other kind of drawback of the Inkosi is the lanyard position. Like, you really do get some like torque on the back here, where the lanyard's kind of, you can feel it stretching out when you bear down on this thing. So all in all, I mean, I really do like this knife, but if I have to pick one, if I'm picking up one knife, it's going to be that Sebenza 31, the large for sure. So that's the status of my collection. Again, I didn't get into my, kind of my obsessions as far as lone wolf knives go, or my, trench knives, things like that, other fixed blades. I still have all of those, but yeah, that's basically where I'm at and kind of where I'm going.